Hey guys, this is Dr. Sandy with another video on how to make your life better. Our focus is always going to be on health and wellness, getting the best quality of life possible. And I'm on a journey. I'm always learning. Been in practice now for 20 years as a chiropractor. I've learned a lot. I'm always reading, and I want to make these videos for you, whether you are a patient of mine or not. But if you can even get like one or two ideas and you start to implement it over time, I really believe over the long term, you'll see really positive things happen to your health because, the older I get, I even realize health is everything. Working with so many people, I've just seen if we don't have health, it really affects our lives. But when health is restored, your whole life takes on a different meaning. You'll be more successful, your relationships, every part of your life just goes up when you get healthy. But we have to study it, we have to make it a priority and give it the energy it needs. So last week I wrote an article talking about why sleep is so critical, how it repairs the body, rejuvenates the body, and these videos and articles I'm writing, it's a little bit coming from myself because I'll be very honest with you. I'm sharing this information. I'm on a journey. I'm still learning things as well, but um, I've never made sleep a priority that I think I should have. I think I could have been better about that, and as I get older, and I'm always looking at myself, and I'm coming out of the Christmas holidays, and it's January 2021. It's always asking that question, what can I do better? And even if you don't have to do, 18 things, but what are some things that I know if I choose this one thing, it'll really help other parts of my life? And when I really looked at myself, and I always ask my patients this question, but I said, what's the area I need to work on? It's definitely sleep. I have a tendency, I stay up late, I'm reading books, trying to learn something, and I've just learned over time that is it worth it, am I at that optimal level? So I'm making sleep a priority. I started researching it, and it was a good refresher. I know sleep is good, but it's good to look into the research and just see how powerful it is. So the first video and articles is all about why we need sleep. This is more a how to get a better sleep. I think some of us are like, I get it, I know sleep's critical, but I'm just not getting the quality I need. So one thing I want to do is I want to give, and this year I'm going to try and do more of this, but really share resources for people I respect even more so. One person I really respect is someone named Sean Stevenson. His name is Sean Stevenson. He wrote a great book. It's called Sleep Smarter: 21 Essential Strategies to Sleep Your Way to a Better Body, Better Health, and Bigger Success. If you want, get his book. His name is Sean Stevenson. He has a ton of podcasts. He writes articles. He's on YouTube. His name is Sean Stevenson. Just type in Sean Stevenson and sleep. You'll see all this cool stuff come out. And again, if you want to get his book, read his articles, his YouTube, he's all over social media. And I want to, he's inspired me a lot with these tips, plus my own experience, plus I've read books on sleep. And it's just over the years, here's kind of like the top big five. And I want to tell you something, and I'm excited to report as well. I've actually started implementing this stuff. And as I mentioned before, I might have mentioned about how in the Christmas holidays, I'd usually stay up, watch movies and stuff, but I really try to get a lot of rest. And I was measuring how I feel, and it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling. And even as I record this video, it's a Sunday. I made sure I went to a decent time last night, got up really feeling the difference. Yeah, so getting sleep, it absolutely works. So let's say you know that you need to get better sleep, you understand that, but you're like, okay, well, give me some tips, after being in practice for so long and reading all this information, where can we start? I think the number one thing I would ask you to consider, and these are all suggestions, is number one, reduce or eliminate caffeinated beverages and alcohol. So, first of all, caffeine, if you've been a patient of mine for a while, I really talk a lot about this. So, I want you to look at caffeinated beverages as like a bonus. It's like a treat, maybe two, three times a week. If you're having it like multiple times throughout the day, in my opinion, I think it's too much stimulation. It's hard on the body. And the one thing, at least for this conversation, in my opinion, and if you also look at the research, it will impact sleep. So if you're on here's the target. If you're a patient, or what I tell my patients is, and I love a good cup of tea or chai, and I love coffees. And certain coffees, I'm more probably a tea drinker, but um, I try to have it 2 to 3 times a week max. I don't try to go beyond that. And I know people who have 2, 3 cups of coffee or tea in a day, maybe even more than that. Again, that will disturb sleep. So what I would suggest to you is start to curb that down. I know some people who reduce caffeine, what starts to happen is they get headaches, they just don't feel well, they're cranky, they just feel off. So make it a very gradual thing you do if you do get headaches. And maybe if you're like 2, 3 cups a day, tell yourself, okay, I'll have maybe one a day, one and a half. And then another thing I would suggest is if you're looking at sleep, try to have that early morning tea, coffee, or chai. But don't have any caffeinated beverages after 12. If you're like, I just need that in the morning, that's fine because I obviously I wouldn't want you to get a headache. And then maybe tell yourself that before 12 p.m. get those things. If I need my drink, okay, that's fine. But work your way to get away from the caffeine because it will affect sleep. The other thing is alcohol, and I looked at the research on this as well. Alcohol, some people said, helps them fall asleep, but you're not getting that deep quality sleep, and you'll usually have a disturbed sleep. And plus, if you're using it all the time, I mean, that's not a good thing as well. So, alcohol and caffeine, I would really start to reduce to raise the quality of sleep. Another thing you want to look at, and I may have mentioned this before, and it's so funny, my dad, when he was here, he would always talk to me about this, and he was right. Is that a very critical time to sleep is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So that's the time when a lot of chemicals, hormones specifically, are coming out in the body and putting the body into a restorative state. You really rejuvenate yourself. So if you're going to bed at like 10 p.m. and you get up at 6 a.m., so that's 8 hours, it's a much more high quality sleep, restorative sleep where the body can repair itself, opposed to someone going to bed at 2 a.m. and getting up at 10 a.m. And you could argue, well, they're both 8 hours, but it seems like that golden window is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And I'll be real with you guys. Growing up, I'd always tell my dad, especially as a teenager, Dad, as long as I, go to bed at this time, it doesn't matter when I sleep. As long as I get my 6 hours, my 7, 8 hours, whatever it is. I didn't realize, and now I've seen the research, and my dad was totally correct. So that 10 p.m. To 2 p.m. And realistically, maybe with your work and stuff, and even for myself sometimes, I don't know if I can always hit 10, but the more you can go to bed before midnight, it's going to work in your favor. So just please, something to consider. What are things you should be doing 1 hour before you go to bed? So before you go to bed, we don't want to do a lot of stimulation. So even if you watch TV, nothing that's like too, exciting and that stimulates you, or a book that stimulates you. It should be kind of like reading something that kind of calms you down, maybe something spiritual, praying, meditating, listening to like soft jazz music, maybe listening to something spiritual, something where you're slowing yourself down, that rhythm. I would actually start dimming the lights as well. What I try to do in my family room is like, we'll kind of dim the lights, we turn the fireplace on, and it's telling the body that sleep is coming. You're getting the body ready for that. And it's very, very, very powerful. So 1 hour before you go to bed, you may even want to be, some people have mentioned things like they find it effective to take a hot bath, a hot shower. You should have a nighttime ritual, something that's telling your body that, the sleep time is coming. And then number 5, which to me is pretty obvious, is try waking up earlier. So you're resetting your body, and if you're listening to this and you're like, well, I go to bed late and now I get up late, and you're throwing it off. So what you want to try to do is have the same time consistently and try to get up earlier. If you get up earlier, you'll probably want to sleep earlier, so you may have to reset your clock. And I got to tell you, one thing that I came with with the research, and again, a lot of credit to Sean Stevenson on this, but I used to, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, like I used to stay up late, and then I'd be like, you get that second wind, or you get that energy later in the night, and I'd be like, okay, so my body's giving me energy. That's actually your body releasing those chemicals that you're supposed to be sleeping, and it repairs you. So I'm just shifting the way I look at things, and a lot of, I'll be honest, a lot of my mentors, people I look up to, the one thing they all have in common is they get up early. And I'm telling myself, I was just thinking about this, but the sweetest part, I'm trying to tell myself this now, the sweetest, most productive part of the day is the mornings. And I'm the person who's always been like the night owl, and the good ideas come and inspiration and all this stuff. But I'm training myself now that, and even not looking at the clock like it's unlimited, saying, okay, whatever I got to get done, I should be wrapping up by 9, 10 p.m. And then, kind of winding down whatever that is, not thinking it's unlimited. And after the kids go to bed and maybe my wife goes to bed, now I get to do, no, I can't do that anymore. Like just following that rhythm, following that cycle and looking up. It's good to admire my mentors, but I should probably start implementing what they've done in their lifestyle. And anyone I've seen at a very, very high level of success, whether it's athletics, big, corporations or whatever it is, a lot of people I respect. What's the common element? Go to bed early, they get up early. So there's probably something to it. So I'm going to be following it. So please implement this. I want this to be a starting point. Sean Stevenson, again, great guy. You should check out his information, but research something. If there's something that you need to improve in your life, start researching it. I want to be a starting point for you to learn more. And you should be always looking at your life and saying, how am I getting better? How can I get better? And I don't think you're ever going to arrive. I think it's an ongoing evolution. So I hope you see it that way. So wishing you all the best. As always, what we say in our clinic, make life powerful. Just wishing you, again, amazing health, especially during these times. Best to you and your family. And I'll be here next week with another video and more information on health and wellness. God bless you.